will say this, though, D, and I want to make sure we say this, too. Like, I've never seen a person, and I'm talking about you now, when playoff starts, the level, like, you're the biggest moment guy I've ever seen in my life, man.
Yes.
And I say, when people ask me about our Big Three team, I've never been more comfortable in a big moment if I looked and saw you there. I mean that sincerely. Like, I was like, we going to be all right, dog. Because it's going to be a big steal, a big block, bucket. Like, I'm telling you, dog, I've never seen anything like it, man. Like, I think it's so underappreciated because that team was so good, obviously. Yes. But every big moment, if I looked on that bench, I looked over there, I said, oh, yeah, we straight.
We straight. Killer, I appreciate you saying that because I pride myself on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I pride myself on always being there in those big moments. And it's not just one way. You know, it's not just making a shot. Oh. There's so many different ways to affect a basketball game. And I pride myself, since my father taught me how to play the game of basketball, on being a guy that can do multiple things for his team. And so if you need me to go get a rebound, coach, all right, I'm gonna just go, UD gonna be boxing out, but I'm gonna go get this rebound. You know what I'm saying? And so I pride myself on making sure that my teammates can always count on me, even when I'm having a bad game, even when, you know, it's not my night. I'm gonna do something in this game to help us. And so,
but listen, this is what, and I don't know if we ever talked about this, but just the mental part of, okay, understanding that I was, or I still am, you know, one of the best players, but passing it to LeBron
that's wild.
And having to adjust your game somewhat. Because I don't think people understood that part of it because we all went through an adjustment with that. And I think you probably had to go through the biggest adjustment with that. You know what I'm saying? I remember those conversations.
Sure.
I am tired of standing in the corner. What we doing? I remember them conversations, my boy. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Just talk about that adjustment because you still need to be your best version in order for us to get where we're trying to go.
Yeah,
but most players ain't willing to take those change. You know what I'm saying? So I never knew what that had to be like.
Anyway, to your question.
Your adjustment.
To question.
And how did you deal with that? Not just physically on the court, mentally.
Yeah, I mean.
That's the biggest part. How did that mentally?
You know what, you really got to, to me personally, you got to kind of be a visionary. And I'm just being honest. You have to look past where you are. And so I looked here as much as I could. And I knew what was going to be said possibly because I know with me making this decision, I'm giving up certain things. And what I'm giving up is I'm giving up arguments right now where a player will say, well, he's not better than this guy because he only got 22,000. He ain't got 27,000 points. Well, I gave up statistical things.
Yes.
For sure.
And I gave up statistical things. And even if you go back and look at all these highlights with LeBron, I'm throwing them lobs on the fast break. I gave up statistical things for the larger picture and the bigger picture. Because ultimately, man, it's not really about that. Like you think it is at some point and the media will cover it like it is, you're scoring, you're this. Man, you're judged on winning.
Yes.
You're judged on what you win. Ultimately, when you want to be mentioned with, when you want to be sitting here celebrating statues and going to the Hall of Fame and all these things, that don't come because you just score. Some people will experience that because it was so great at what they did at that level that they still will. But most of you won't. So for me, I play a team sport. I had to understand that, you know what, we talk about roles all the time. I've been a star player before. I need you to play your role for me to be my best. So here we go. You got to play a role now. What you willing to do, sir? So it's really looking in the mirror. And it's like a lot of people talk. And it's easy to be a conductor and tell people what to do until you got to actually be a soldier and go do it yourself. And so when it was time for me to be a soldier and do what I had to do to let the best player that we in our game play and rock out and we figured out so we can all win, I got out the way to be the best teammate I can be. And I still figured it out in the midst of it.
Killer, preach because I'm telling you, that's, you know, our biggest word when we were coming there was sacrifice.
Yes.
That's the Miami Heat thing, right?
Yes.
And I always tell people, man, it's an easy word to say. It's a hard thing to do.
Ooh,
but that's why I think, to me, I don't let that overlook. And I know people don't, but that was a massive sacrifice by you.
And everybody watching.
You're probably a top 3 player in the league at the time, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not like...
Ain't no problem. You take that probably out.
Hey, talk to him, dog.
You take that problem for sure.
I was just making sure you're going to flex.
That's why I asked the question the way I asked it, because it was me now. But this is what I will say. The locker room is watching you. So you can sit up there and we can preach sacrifice.
Yeah.
But we all know we can see through the... If me and Mike watching you and you ain't sacrificing, that ain't translating to nobody.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest part about it is that you were willing to do it. So if Dwayne Wade can sacrifice, how can't Udonis Haslam sacrifice?
Man.
How can't Mike Miller sacrifice?
Joel
Joel Anthony, Shane Battier, Rashad Lewis. You know what I mean? The names and the list go on and on. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the biggest thing about it. Like you said, we all talk about sacrifice until it's your turn. Then it's a foreign language. Like, ooh, you. you too. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
but we watching you.
It's like something you like something you can't understand when it's your turn.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
real.
And you just can't be that person. And so I'm not letting y'all down, Killer. I'm not the only one who made a sacrifice to be here. Everybody got a story on that team with the sacrifice they made to be on that team, first of all. So this is my role for this team to make sure that we can all sit here, talk our as old heads, because we got them things that everybody chasing.